What's up, world? Welcome to a new episode of the BrandonJaneauShow. I am Brandon Janeau. Hope you guys enjoy this episode. And like always, shout out to my family at Urban Boulevard. BLVB.US is the website. You go there, buy something. School is around the corner. You buy something, apparel. Use the code Brandon.30 for 30% off your purchase. And shout out to you guys. Being a brand ambassador has been pretty cool. And hopefully more things in the future with us. So let's get into it. Um, so whew. so let's start off like this. This morning, opened up an email, and it is from Good Pots, and uh, they sent me the rankings, I guess, of where I'm at, particularly in the podcast world or whatever case may be. And I'm in the top 20 in self improvement, which is pretty interesting. I'm in the top 25, I think, in music. Like, okay, that's pretty cool. And I am in the top 50 for education. I don't know my podcast is educational, but it seems to be educational. I didn't know that. So um, yeah, that was a pretty eye-opening, thing to read because because I don't see myself as ranking what I do. I don't see it. So, which brings me to what today is gonna be about, man. I feel like there's an art to this. I've said numerous times I'm an artist because I do podcasts, and I think as an artist, the first rule of being an artist is to um, believe in what you make. And I think I believe in this so much that seeing those things, it shocked me and surprised me, but it never really put a perspective on what I do because I don't care about what I do. Okay, let me say that again. I don't care about rankings like that. It was cool to see it. It was like, wow, that's pretty fucking dope. That's pretty cool. But it doesn't change anything to me. It just makes me more of a I gotta keep going mindset. And you know, at any moment when we do this and we do podcasting and we work our ass off, I feel like even in that sense, uh, we are all artists. I say this a lot, but what is the art? The art is podcasting, right? The art is this, and I think that our words matter, but more importantly, the tone in our voice. Do you want somebody that's gonna be jittery and hyper every time they hear you because they know when you about to jump on? And I can easily tell you when I'm that way. When I'm doing like when I'm doing Tuesdays with my family in this podcast world, or I'm doing like dark therapy session with my brother RSA, like that's when we bounce off of each other. That's different energy. So I already know I gotta come with a different type of level of pace with that. But when I'm doing this, I want you to hear what I'm saying, and I want you to really take in what I'm saying because that's the art of this to me. Um, because I don't want my podcast. I don't want Brandon Janeau show, the Brandon Janeau show. I don't want it to be overly hyper because I need you to hear what I'm saying because I'm not particularly overly hype person. I'm laid back, tired as fuck sometimes. I'm tired right now as I speak because I woke up at like 5 o'clock this morning and I haven't been asleep since. So like, I haven't been asleep since, so I know I'm gonna sleep good tonight. I am going to be dead by the time like 9, 10 roll around. Oh my god. It's gonna be a yeah, slobbering on a pillow. It's just gonna be bad. But in it but that particular thing is that, man, like I enjoy this, but I never really honed into what this is in a sense. I talk about it a lot, but I don't hone into what this is. And this is an art, man. I feel like I feel like what we do as podcasters, and I can speak for what I feel, is we take all the elements of art that is deemed for artists. We take all the elements of it and then we do it, because right after this, I'm doing another episode by myself. Excuse me. I'm doing another episode, and that's the first episode that I'm fully doing by myself for my new series. Um, life and life and times with music, which is just me, and I'm gonna talk about music. And and I know people say, "Well, Brandon, you talk about music all the time," but true. But that's what the family, and that's what everybody else's opinions, and that's not mine. And and yeah, I throw in certain things, but it's not fully my opinion. And I'm gonna just be talking about music on that. And so for me, it's that in a sense, right? But like that, when I do that, what I'm saying, with my family on Tuesdays, or I'm about to do it by myself, I'm taking a particular piece of art that people work their whole lives for, and that's music. They work their whole lives to have music, to do music, to create music. They've done everything in their lives to be that, and that's an art. And I talk about it, you know, wrestling. Wrestling is an art. You know what I'm saying? Like people say whatever they want to say, but oh, it's fake. I don't care. It's still an art. Like go tell them wrestlers that shit that it's fake when they go out there at night and they can't see their families for 365 days out of the entire year, 365 days. The only time they get to see their family is maybe if they're injured, and that's it. And they're mainly rehabbing, trying to get back because they love what they do so much. Don't tell them that. That's an art to them. That's what they love to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, to be an artist, you got to believe in what you're doing, just like you believe in what you say and how you do it and how you move it and how you flip it. You got to believe in what you're doing, and go tell them that. So that's what this podcast is about. You know, we all take different levels of art. You know what I'm saying? Some people, um, to a lot of people, relationships can be an art. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So it's that everything is art. You know what I'm saying? Everything, but we take what we are accustomed to, and we bring it here. You know what I'm saying? We talk about it. Some on just audio platforms, some audio and you and videos. You know what I'm saying? But um, but there's always an art to this, man. And I love the fact that in this art form that we get a chance to do things. We get to believe and push and do things in a space where I will hope nobody judges you for it, and I hope you will be more forthcoming in your opinions and your feelings, because at the end of the day, uh, it's yours. When I started doing this and started podcasting, um, I knew for I knew it could be a risk, naming it after me, because name my show after me. I always thought about the positive, like I'm gonna talk about what the fuck I want to talk about. That's why I'm naming it after me. I've even said it numerous times. You know what I'm saying? Because BrandonJaneauShow. Who else was I gonna talk about? There's only one motherfucking Brandon Janeau on this planet. I was gonna only like I could talk, and I never thought about the negative, which is crazy, right? You would think that that would be the main thing. I thought that was the negative. I never thought that was a positive. I thought that was the negative. Like people just not gonna probably like the opinions that I have, or people not gonna really give a fuck about what I say, or people not gonna listen. I care. Like they probably be like, man, I don't really give a fuck. And I thought that was more of the negative than it was a positive, and now it's become the positive, and it's just like, what the fuck is the negative? And I never thought about it, and I realized that the negative of naming something after yourself is it is after you. So what if you don't feel like talking about yourself today? What if what if that's not in your topic catalog? What if that's not what you, or maybe you talk about yourself too much and you just like, you know what, man, I don't really feel like dealing with me. Like I don't like that shit. I had to get out of that mindset of like I had to get out of that mindset of not being able to explain to myself why this matters so much. Because I'm an artist and this is my art. I paint my pictures on this, and unlike a lot of the paintings, you see it. And if you ask a art buyer or somebody like that, right, they'll tell you, yeah, we see the visual, but it's a feeling. It's a feeling that you feel more so than you see in the visual. You feel connected to that painting. This is kind of what I feel about my podcast. You can't, you can hear me, you can see me, but if I don't make you feel something, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't, because that's the art to me. That's where it is. That's where it lies. If I don't make you feel something, what the fuck is the point? I could talk all day, but you could literally be like, I don't give a fuck. It's like, I don't give a fuck. I don't really care that much about what the fuck you saying, man. I don't care. And it's back to the drawing board. And I think that's the reason why I care so much. And I do podcasts, and I do it so much because this is my art. I'm the artist, and this is my art. And I painted a picture that people clearly see. I'm pretty sure you hear, but it's the feeling. That's different. That's different. That's a different emotion. That's different. When you feel, when you can hear it, and you can feel the joy we have on Tuesdays, or you can listen to an interview that I do with certain people, and you can tell, like, oh wow, this is different. Okay, I like this. Because he's not asking the same question. He's asking different shit, and he's kind of getting different ways. And or you could just listen to a episode by myself, and you can hear it in me that I'm just as confused as I was when I started. I'm just as confused as I started, but and it and I start looking at it as maybe I'm not as off-putting as I would like to be. There's this particular center of gravity towards me. I don't know what it is, but yeah, there's a particular show I watch on Netflix right now. Arrow. Shout out to the Arrow, the show Arrow, and there's this particular episode with Ra's al Ghul. Now you've ever heard that name before, Ra's al Ghul. You heard it on Batman. Batman Begins, and yeah, but he's on Arrow, right? And he's talking to one of the characters, and he's telling her why she should go talk to arrow and tell him, you know, that she loves him and all these things, right? Before he becomes the new Ra's al Ghul. Like, we're gonna tell him this shit before he's lost to you forever. But there's a particular point where before he turns around and tells her that particular thing, like go tell him how much you love him, he says something that sticks with me. Every time I see it, particularly, it's that one thing that he says to her. He says there's a, in life, life is always more cruel than fair. There's a rule to life that is more cruel than fair. And that's an interesting fucking nugget, man, because it's true. It is more cruel than it is fair. You have way more heartbreak than you actually have love in your life. Did you ever think of that shit? You have way more heartbreak than you do have love. That's fucked up. You got more people that have to deal with death in their life than they actually have to deal with people that see grow every day and become something every day and expand on something every day. That's fucked up. You bury more people than you actually can actually tell them how much you love them and respect them and thank them. That's fucked up, man. And it is true, man. Life is cruel. You got your moments where a particular set of time, at that one point, everything lines up and it's not perfect. But damn, does it not make you feel like it? What I'm trying to say is this. Me and, me and my brother also said it was a lot. When we get off the podcast, we're back to reality. But for this one little piece of time, it settles down for me. It's not perfect. Damn, does not feel like it. That's what this is. This ain't perfect. I don't get on here and tell you I know every damn thing. I'm not supposed to tell you I know every goddamn thing. And that's the thing. And then I have today happen. And then literally in Walmart, I'm walking, go check out some shit. And I see my history teacher from college. And he look at me, he see me, and he like, I know you from somewhere. And I said, yeah, I was one of your students in college. I was one of your students in history. He's like, damn. He's like, man, I still teach up there, man. And just talking to him, and he's still smooth as shit, man. That nigga still smooth, man. But just talking to him, you know what I'm saying? And him being like, man, congratulations, man. Like, that's amazing. I told him I actually talk about him here and there when I do history shows here and there. I talk about certain things in history that he taught me. And he was like, man, that's what's up, man. I appreciate that. And he's like, man, I always tell you, man, like I say all the time, when you was one of my students and like you are now, you're not one of my students. He's like, once a student, always my student. And that was just real shit. And I appreciate that because there's certain things in life that I wish more people would say shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, once my family, always my family. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, life is way more cruel than it is fair. And we don't get those opportunities to tell people how much we fuck with them, how much we love them, how much we care. We don't give them their flowers while they're still here. And last couple of days, I kind of last shit, fuck the last couple of days, last couple of months, I've kind of stepped away from that, and I don't like that because even if I personally can't be back in that position again, where a lot of people I can't really work with or adjust to like I used to. Like I used to make a lot of adjustments just to work with certain people, but now it's kind of like, eh, we're busy. Like you're busy, I'm busy. We'll do it whenever. And I don't want to come off as an asshole, but it comes off as an asshole. And and I think having today happen, seeing where I was, even though, I say that shit doesn't matter, but it does matter in a sense. Because it does give me more of a clearance of like, okay, this is clearly something I should be doing in my life. But it's the fact that I always commend my family that I work with so much, like DC, Chris, Bird's Eye View, DC with the shit, my TDs, Pillow Talk with the T, grown ass folk, my brother RC. Like I always meet Tyler's, Kim and Nelson, shout out to y'all. Like I always give them the love and I always talk about how much I love them and fuck with them. And but when I got to 200 episodes, it was a collective unit. That means everybody. And I feel like and yeah, I feel like this podcast world kind of is like real life in some senses because it is real life because we all have different stories and different ways we put it out and talk about it. But I think for me, it's that in a sense. It's like just like in my real life, I had to kind of get to the point where I was just like, am I gonna let certain shit affect me forever, or is it just more so just a moment? Like, yeah, it fucked up, but at the same time, I can easily not fuck with it. Just let it go. Or I could continue to give it its flowers and say, you know what, this wasn't the time. This is not the time for that. And I think that's what it means more so. What you see behind me, BrandonJaneauShow, man, that logo, that sign, that name. Just like I didn't know if I wanted, if this was that was a positive or a negative. It's a positive. Now, maybe I can't go back to that positions and those doing those things with a lot of people, but I could always show them love, and I think that's the key, man. That's the beauty of being an artist with art is that you appreciate everybody's art, just in their own different ways. Is that such a problem? Because as life is cruel more than it is fair, it never does give people the proper closure to move on and go to next things. Yeah, I truly understood what he meant because you never really get proper closure with anything nowadays. It's too soon. How could that happen? What the fuck? Like, it's just questions. You just like, what the fuck? Like, goddamn. But I think as we get more and more into life, we put better perspectives on it. So as an artist in this podcast is my art, like always, man. Thank y'all. Cause without y'all, none of this should be happening. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for listening. If you are listening, and rank it. Y'all can rate it. Y'all could comment. Y'all can do whatever y'all want to do. I hope you guys enjoy these episodes, man. Season 5 is almost over, and yeah. So hope you guys enjoyed this. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.